value through accessible and efficiency. So basically what we do is help manufacturers to connect to consumers. Most of you in this room are consumers. And along the supply chain, the distributors are there, sub-distributors are there, wholesalers are there, retailers are there. So as an organization, we source product from manufacturers and get them through to sub-dealers, to wholesalers, to retailers. Consumers like you are able to get the products. So we are adding value along the supply chain, making sure that food, because our focus is food, making sure that food is available and accessible to consumers. Why it matters? Distribution is recession resistant, always in demand and scalable. It offers practical, low entry entrepreneurship and long-term growth potential for young graduates. We eat every day. We're talking about FMCG, that fast-moving consumer goods. It is a must use every day. Either it is food, or it is toiletries, or what have you. It is in high demand. No matter how high recession is, it doesn't affect FMCG because people must eat. And that is why it matters. Sourcing products. The products we distribute, how do we source it? Where do we source it from or source them from? The source could be from farmers, for those that are into farm produce, fresh produce, fruits, vegetables, manufacturers, importers, wholesalers, digital platforms, prioritize consistent quality, fair pricing, and reliability. So when we're talking about sourcing products, because some of you may be interested in dealing directly with manufacturers, that's okay. Some of you may want to focus on some goods that are imported, dealing with importers, that is okay. Some of you want to sell to students. And you'll be looking for wholesalers or retailers that you can source from. All these sources are valid, and you can decide to even source from all the sources all together. They are valid, but it's very important that you pay attention to quality. In the supply chain, and as you're transforming or transiting from local to global standard, it is very important to pay attention to quality and consistency in the quality. Because you see, your target audience, the consumers, there could be wholesalers, there could be retailers, depending on where you're starting from or where you are along the supply chain. It is very important not to disappoint your customers. It is very important to always give them quality products. And I cannot overemphasize quality, because I understand that when you're just starting. So let me play a scenario of someone that is sourcing fruits from a farmer. We know that fruits are perishable. So maybe you've sourced the fruit and it's been with you for a while, and some of them are getting bad. And if you look at the money you use to procure the product, you may want to sell the good ones and the bad ones together so that you can get back your money. From experience, the experience we've all had, there are some sellers that will keep the bad ones in between the good ones so that they can sell off, get back their money. But when the consumers, get to access the product, you have to throw away the bad ones. Now, let me ask you, would you want to buy again from that source when next you want to purchase your fruit? Of course, no. So what has happened? You have been disappointed because your source has failed you. What you have experienced in the past, being quality fruits, it has now become both good and bad. That means the quality has been tampered with. So it is very important, if you're coming into distribution business, quality consistency is very key. And if, I'm being realistic with you, and if there is a mistake or error along the line, and such happen, be very honest to own up, take the bad ones back, return the money with full apology. I am saying this because recently we had a ugly experience in one of the companies. So I'll tell you the story, but I won't go deep. The internal control department and the store have the responsibility to flag products that are close to expiring. But if they refuse to flag it, they take up responsibility. So I think along the line, they failed in their responsibility, and some of the products got expired. Now, rather than them owing up to say, we have this issue, bring it up to management, they decided to tackle it among themselves. How? By selling some expired products to customers. And thankfully, one of the customers came back to report. And at the time, I was in the store when the customer came back. I was so angry with my team. But first, while they were waiting for finance to approve the refund of the money, I quickly went on my phone from my personal money, transfer immediately to the customer, so that the customer will not have to wait for our process. 1. 2, I personally apologized to the customer. I explained what has happened. I explained that the team wanted to cover up, and that is why they do that. I made it clearly known to the customer that it is not in our culture as an organization. And also, lastly, I gave the customer a gift to say, we are sorry. So, in real life, it can happen. But when it happens, you have to take responsibility and correct the mistake. Pathway to becoming a successful distributor. So it is not all about, I have passion for this and I want to go into it. And like I said, it is not only for the distribution business. It applies to all businesses. So irrespective of where you have your passion, irrespective of what you love to do, or irrespective of what you're currently doing, you can relate. This applies. Starting with little capital. You can begin as commission agents. You can decide to start with this of just one product. You can use pre-order. You can use borrowed warehouse space. You can partner with distributors, creatively reducing costs. This is very strategic. I know that as students, you may not have the capital to start big, but you can leverage on technology. You can post pictures, you can make adverts, and tell people to buy. Once they place order, that's pre-ordering, you go to your source, source the product. In fact, you can source the product on credit. If you have integrity, if you have good credit rating with your source, get the product and supply to your customer without you having any capital. You have started. It could be that you have capital, but you don't have space. You can partner with any distributor that has space, saying, oh, I'm buying this product from you. I need you to keep this product for me for 2 weeks. And within that 2 weeks, you are busy selling. You can start with just one product. Oh, yes, I want to have a big store. My dream is to have a big store where I sell different kinds of products. But you're just starting. You can start with just one. And from there, you go. So I can tell you my story in terms of starting with some small capital. So when I started, it was with 39,000 naira. And of course, did I have that 39,000 naira at that time? No. But the product was available on credit. So what I make sure to do is, at the agreed time between me and the source, I make sure that the money is available. See, your good name, your credibility can open big doors for you. But once you mess that name and credibility up with excuses, that is you killing your business even before you start. I have had people that have supported with credit facility of 500,000. Today, they have credit facility of more than 50 million naira with me. And I have some that I started likewise, or even with a lower amount, 50,000. And today, the facility has been withdrawn because of mismanagement. Life will always happen. There are 1,001 excuses not to pay that debt. 1,001 excuses. But you know what? If you allow that to take over you, you'll be killing your business before you start. No matter what the situation is, no matter how tough, make sure you do not fail where you are promised when it has to do with business. That is you telling your supplier or your source that you're someone of high integrity. I also share a story. When the business started growing, and I want you to listen carefully to this. Don't forget that I said my mom was the one doing it before I stepped in. And over time, she knows the kind of daughter that I am. That when it comes to credibility, it's top notch. So one day, at a time, to be a distributor of Dangote sugar refinery, you must be able to buy 150 trucks. And at that time, can't even afford half a truck. So my mom was contacted by the person that was controlling the Southwest. And my mom said, well, I am not interested, but I have a daughter that is interested. And my mom introduced me to the distributor. I was ready to work with him as a sub-distributor. I remember the first time I placed my order for 1 truck of sugar, 600 bags. The man said, I will call you back. And he called my mom, that your daughter just ordered for a truck. And my mom said, whatever quantity she ordered, supply her. By the time I was ordering 10 and more trucks from this man, my mom was not even in the equation anymore, because the man had been convinced beyond reasonable doubt that I would always repay. I didn't have the money, but I had the connect, and I used it very well. So you can start with small capital. You can start with no capital. What you need is you being true, being honest. Is you having integrity of the highest order. Another thing you could do is aggregate. That's talking about power of aggregation. Aggregating pool of supply or demand, enable bulk buying, lower prices, improve margin, and increase competitiveness for small businesses. So you can team up with your friends of like mind and say, okay, let's pool our resources together and approach this stuff so that we can get good price that will increase our margin. Build system, daily tracking, set up system for inventory, record keeping, delivery tracking, customer management, and cash flow. Systems guide growth. See, I told you that my parents started, they were in an unstructured market. I wish I have a picture of what their store looks like. A typical shop that you see in the open market today. But of course, all they were doing was manual recording and all of that at that time. Gradually, when I started, of course, I also started from that level. But over time, I had to build systems. So today, from anywhere in the world, I can access any of my records from my device. I don't have to physically be in the store before I know what is going on there. As a matter of fact, one of the companies just opened a store in Gadget Market here. I've never been there. I don't know the people that are there, but I've been seeing their number. I've been seeing the sales they are making there. There are some of the locations where we have today that have never been there in person, but I see the world. Why? System. So start small. It will be very clear that you need a system to grow. Because with today, you can check your record, you can check your data. What did I do last month? Where do I want to be next month? What is the target I'm giving myself? Am I achieving it? And all of that. So it is very important to work with system. And even if you want to present anything to government for government support or leverage on any government intervention. If you don't have your record, you do not have anything to present. So it is very important to build systems. Build trust. Building consumer trust. I think I said something similar to this earlier. Delivery consistency, maintain quality, communication delay, keep fair pricing, build strong relationship, trust, accelerate growth. With your customer, you need to build trust. They need to trust your quality. They need to trust your consistency. Oh, I'll be delivering this product to you every Monday. Don't let your Monday turn into Tuesday. Now, if for any reason there will be change, inform the customer ahead of time that this week we are going to be running late. We're going to be delivering on Tuesday. And make sure that you don't call to say we're running late all the time. Whatever you're doing, you have to be consistent and deliver whatever has been promised, so that the trust that your customer is building in your brand will not be broken. So I continue. Supplier. Identify great supplier. Great supplier ensures steady supply, transparent pricing, good communication, quality product, and proper documentation. The scenario I painted the other time, you can imagine that the fruit purchase is to be delivered to a customer somewhere, and the customer receives bad fruit. Now, this is you disappointing your customer without even knowing that your source has adulterated the quality of the fruit. So it is very important to pitch your tent with a reliable source, because it is not all the time, given the age of technology that we have, it is not all the time that you get to see your good. And yet, you are there delivering. But what will give you that rest of mind and assurance is your source. You must pitch your tent with a good supplier that you're sure will not disappoint you. And a good supplier can have quality issues. Talking real time, I'm talking reality. I'm talking what is happening right now. Your supplier can have quality issues. Being a good supplier is also being able to admit that, yes, we have quality issue at this time and we are ready to rectify. So if you have such a supplier and you receive a complaint from your customer that this quality is having issue, it will put you in a good position to withdraw the product and supply a better one without your customer losing trust in you. Negotiation. These are some of the skills that you have to develop. Negotiating skill. I am a very good negotiator. I negotiate very well with bankers. By the way, we have account with Unity. I negotiate very well with bankers when it comes to the kind of service that I need to support my business. I'm good at negotiating for the best interest rate. I'm very sure Dr. Femi would remember that when he was there at Standard Chartered, when it comes to negotiation, I'm good at it. Also with suppliers. I said earlier, because that's negotiation. And it's allowed globally. I'm currently sourcing some products from Switzerland and from China. When we got to the pricing, I put on my negotiating skills cap and I went into the room to negotiate for good deals. And of course, I got it. So it is very important that you work on that skill. Let me tell you, the worst you can get is no. That's it. The worst you can get is no. And you can get a yes. So why not try? Don't say, oh, it's not be nice to negotiate for this low price. Let me tell you, when you are in such room, there is nothing like being nice. In fact, it's like playing a game. You look for the weakest point of your opponent, and that's when you hit the hardest. That's what happens when you're negotiating. Leverage on your supplier's pain point or weakness. So let me also give you an example. I remember when rice was being, imported into Nigeria. Actually, right now, rice is still allowed, but the duty is very high. But at that time, the duty was low, and you could bring in rice. So I worked with different importers. And what I do at that time, whenever their vessels arrive, that's when I go in to negotiate with them. I'll tell them I want to buy a huge number of trucks and negotiate for 100 trucks, 200 trucks. At that time, I know they needed money to do their duty. Because usually when they purchase with virtually all they have. And when they come to Nigeria, they look for money to pay the customs. That's when I come in. I'll tell them, don't worry, I'll give you the money that you need. But I negotiate for a very low price. The price that's low as the landing costs of the importer. That's at break-even costs. And at that price, it puts me in a position that I'm as good as an importer. So at the end of the day, whatever price the importer is selling, I can also sell. So you need to sharpen your negotiations here. Innovation. Innovation is a culture. Encourage experimentation and learning at every level. At this age and time, young, brave, vibrant ladies and gentlemen in this room, innovation is about doing things differently to improve efficiency. So whatever you're doing today, always think of how to do it better. And by the time you're thinking about it and doing it better, that is innovation at work. Vision, long-term vision, short-term agility. Deliver consistently, maintain quality, keep fair pricing and build strong relationships. I think I've spoken about that. Now, growth pathway, startup to conglomerate. You can grow horizontally and you can grow vertically. You can grow horizontally by increasing your portfolio. I told you that manufacturers depend on us, and every now and then we have manufacturers contacting us to say, can you please distribute our product for us? By adding different categories, you are increasing and growing horizontally. And you can also grow vertically. That is growing to the level of your sort. So for example, growing as a distributor to even become a manufacturer so that you can have your own product that you are selling, adding to your portfolio. And that is what we are doing by the grace of God. By next year, we'll be launching our product from Ever Agro Food International Limited, which is a manufacturing company. Thank you. Why graduates are the future? Why young brains are the future? Young Africans are tech-savvy, innovative, resilient, and bold. They have the energy to redefine Africa's supply chain. You are young, full of energy. I am young too, full of energy. Okay, so I am not old. I am not as old as any. Anyway, yes, young Africans have energy. You have advantage more than us. So no matter how young, I am older than most people in this hall. So you are younger than me. And so you have advantages, even more than I do. So yes, you are young. You are resident and you're bold. Don't sit back. Go for it. There are huge opportunities that lie ahead of you. And that's why you have a future of Africa. What do you have to do? Your first 30 days. So choose a product. Don't let this conference just come and go. Make use of it. Choose a product, study the demand, make the supply, secure customers, and start selling. Start that business. That idea you've been nurturing, it is time to start. Keep record and improve every week. My final message: start where you are. Use what you have. Begin small. Stay consistent and grow intentionally. Africa needs your leadership. Thank you.
You're doing better than that. Are you guys for a change? Let's appreciate our Royal Majesty, Dr. Lori. Can we just appreciate her again, please? Thank you so much. Have a seat. So we are moving quickly to the question and answer, and we received some of your questions. So we received some of your questions, and honestly, we had similar questions asked. So we filtered them, and those that brought different questions together in their own question are going to be answered. A lot of us are talking about how can they be funded, they are starting a business, how do they find opportunities to fund their business and all of that. So most of our questions were directed to Dr. Okay, most of our questions were directed to Dr. Olusoji Adeni, and he has a lot of questions to answer. But I know that in a few minutes that we are going to do this, he's going to answer all our questions. And also, we have questions for our Royal Majesty, Dr. Lori Elizabeth. I will read these questions out. Okay, we have more questions. I just hope we have time. Please, for her, for our Royal Majesty, do you have any question? We have enough questions for our doctor already. Please, let's ask questions for the speech you just I just believe this is for our Royal Majesty. Okay. So, so I'm taking your part.
Thank you, everyone. Again, thanks for all the accolades. I appreciate it. Someone that is talking about how can we we're going to get a presentation to what that's right. Somebody wants to know that somebody wanted to know if I am outside the 8 brackets that I talked about. The 8 brackets is not really the reason why we hire at that level. But if you are older than that and you have a good resume, you know, it doesn't stop us from hiring. But the point is, I keep telling all of you, make sure that you're not working for working sake, because work with a purpose. Do you understand? So if you're currently working for an organization, look at the CEO of that organization. Is that CEO a worthy mentor to you? Would you like to do what that person is doing, even if you don't have money? can the period that you spend in that place reflect a learning period where a small salary or whatever salary you're getting is like an allowance for you in training. So that when you get that skill, you can display it anywhere you find yourself. The next journey will be for you on what Olori was teaching us on how to, start a business without the finance, or start a business with spread facility, or start a business with partnership, or start a business with rental or space. When I started my first manufacturing experience, I did contract manufacturing and never had a factory. You understand what I'm saying? I never had a factory. I did contract manufacturing. Today in Abuja, I have about 4 hotels, but I don't own any of the property. They are leased property. My wife always quarrels. What if the owner comes and says he's driving us? Move to another building. It's cheaper for me to lease a building with 10 million naira and flip it with 50 million naira and make 100 million naira there. Than for me to use 100 million naira to build and begin to look for 5 million naira to use to run the business. Do you understand? So you have to think through what will be your advantage. You need to hold sometimes. I've been in property that the owner will say, I want to sell, do you want to buy? I said, I don't want to buy. Not going to another business, another property. What you need to understand is that the person who is trying to sell to you, maybe uploading his own, liabilities. There's a property I'm paying rent, 200 million. And he came to me and said he wants to sell for 1.5 million. It would look like a good buy for somebody who's not experienced. But that to me didn't shake me. Because I'm not going to buy down 1.5 million with which I can rent 5 buildings. And run the same business with the 500 million and make 10 billion in the same period I'm waiting for the 1.5 million property to use the job. You just want to see how money works for you. Not just for I want the property, so what? If you get to that any of my branches, you can Google it, you will not find me one area, but you won't know that I don't want it. Especially I tell you like this that I don't want it. You're walking to the hotel and you are laughing and you are coming back and the service is good. So if the owner comes and wants to help tomorrow and say I want the building, so I go with another building. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not thinking that you must own, you must buy, you must take. No. Those funds that are used to do all of that can be cash flow that you need to do the kind of business that Madam is talking about. She told you that you can rent the house. She told you that you can co-share the house. She told you that you can rent the truck. She told you that you can co-hold the truck. Do you understand? Those things are ways of reducing costs and running your business to scale. I also saw someone talk about agriculture without farming. Agriculture is not just only farming. The agro process itself, the value chain. And that is not manufacturing, yes. You understand? But it is the heartbeat of all manufacturers. If she says she's not making their pockets, their needs of today, they will start calling her. She's afraid to not stop because they know that they won't be, the network marketing their product. So imagine if you now go and start spending millions of naira building the factory. What is she going to get from it? Do you understand? The network is more important. The value chain is more important. The one who's going to agriculture, nobody is already farming. Go and discuss. How much is he going to sell to you? Where is the market? How much are they going to buy from you? Be in the middle. Start from there. You can do backward integration later if you find that the gap between what the person sells to you and what the market is so wide. But I tell you, that person takes all the risk. You are the one who just making a little money and you're making money. By the time you get very good at what you do, marketing the product, every other farmer will come to you to sell to you. You don't need to be a farmer to enjoy the farming and agriculture. You Are we together? Your father doesn't have a land. You know what? It's not important. Go and see people who have land and they're not doing anything with it if you are one in the family. Are we together? So those are things that I need to just about being not being for being for agree. How do you get mentors? If you are already with Africa Young People, you understand how to get mentors. We have a mentorship program. So just sign on to that and you are able to go. Then that doesn't stop you from identifying mentors from the go. The problem with most of you is that you will forget your mentors. You become tormentors instead of being mentee. Do you understand? It is your mentor that you tell your problem about your mother is sick. Your mentor that you tell your problem about you need to go to hospital. Your mentor, those are not roles for your mentor. Your mentors are supposed to guide you. Otherwise, when you call them, they won't be repeating your post again. Because the last time you call them, the only problem you have is money. Then you are not going to be mentored. Are you with me? So when you call your mentor, you have something solid to talk to your mentor about. I have nieces and nephews who will see me on Facebook. You are down today. You are in London tomorrow. Come and help us to travel out. I want to Japan and because we go everywhere and sure you have opportunity to help me in Japan. Then what do you want to go and do if you Japan? My children are not in Nigeria, by the way, so that I make a disclaimer, so that you understand that it's not that I don't want to Japan. But I have daughters and a son. My first daughter has a master's degree and she's doing her PhD, but she makes her money from nails. Google on Instagram. And then it's so funny. Do you understand? She makes her money from what? On making nails in the PhD candidate. She bought her car cash out for making nails in London. My second daughter did not go to the university. She told me that there's no point in me going to the university. I was shocked. But when she started explaining to me what she wanted to do, she wanted to be a chef. She said, chef don't need to go to university. She needs to go to a culinary school. She researched the culinary school. She went to the culinary school. Today, she has like multiple culinary certifications. She has more than her mother will provide. People were done and I have a son who is in the university as we speak, in the final year, but he's already a professional boxer. He wants to be the next Joshua. He has 1 year of professional boxing. Do you understand? He wants to do something with his hand. Who am I to talk to? Then my last daughter, a girl, she's in the US. I saw her about 2 weeks ago. She's in Canada. I don't give her allowance. She uses her hand to make braids. They call her the braid lady. In the university, I was with her one weekend and she had only 2 clients in the morning and in the evening. And I saw them in her $200. You know how much that is in Naira? Do you understand what I'm saying? One day, I just said that to work. I'm going to the doctor. What do you notice in all of this in America? They use their what? Their hands because they have skills. That's why I talk to you about skills. Yes, they have degrees, so the degrees don't stop them from the skills. So the skills are very, very important. That's put money and food on your table. The degree you can do shakara with it. The day you decide that you want to go and work, you can bring a CV that goes to come to the university system. Everybody likes you. But nobody gets fed from being liked. Do you understand? We get fed from what we can achieve using the skills that we have. I have gone to our company, I've been looking for a job for 3 years, and I don't like it in the waiting period. I'm just calling my uncle to connect me to one other to the other so that I can give me a job. And then some will die working for a factory and pay them $30,000. But they will not be able to go and learn the skill travel to that office and come back home and feed. You realize that there are lots of utilizing the company. So if someone can laugh because you've been there, go and let the change. Become expert at that way. Look for somebody to sponsor you. Before they sponsor you, there's something they call joiner. Once you know the job, every skilled person will be happy to have that opportunity just for you to save money, to be able to buy the right equipment. And some of the work does not even require serious equipment. You want to do 3D, POP, painting. Every guy can do that. You just need to know it better than your colleagues so that when your own work is done, nobody comes and says, "Oh, this is work." That's the difference that you make. And that's only this work will need it for the rest of your life. Because if you do this, you get so busy. And I tell you, people who have skills to understand also another thing. If you are self-employed and you can only make money when you pay, or when you are not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone, let me start so that you can hear it very well. An entrepreneur is someone who can deploy his or her team at any point to solve a problem, and whether he or she is there or not, money and time. That's an entrepreneur. Your self-employment that you have to be there from morning to night is what? Self-employment, it's not a business. The only difference is that you want to employ yourself. That's why it's not self-employment. It's not a business. I told my patient, I have been patient for me for almost 15 years, and you will always come alone. I told him, I said, on the way where you now, at least, luckily enough, when you start working for me, you are coming on the leg, now you have a bike, now you have all of this. So this bike now, if you fall on it, and you broke your hand, and for 3 months you are carrying POP, how will you fix? I told him last year, I said, if you don't come here, at least 2 apprentices, I will not allow you to work for me again. They went to the village in Meetup and brought 2 apprentices. Now, he can be working for me in one branch. I tell him that another one is not going to pay there. Before, he will tell me to wait, he will pay me for one branch. You that are one week, then you move to another branch, because you pay every 6 months. Do you understand? You don't say, you say, no, or that, I think this one, or that, that. Now, from that 2 years ago that I spoke to him, he had bought bikes for all those things. Now he sends them to go and do. Now I told him that now you are a businessman. The moment you are sick now, these people will continue to work and will continue to do what? To make money. So that's how to transform your mind from self-employment to entrepreneur. And like I said, I told you that you now think about scaling. When you started the choir, was doing the choir, but it is for the that also people will be calling back. Because you will see a crop path. It's from there that Lagos people will call her. It's from there that other people will call her. And you will see advert of talent. You will apply. Because company will say, we can trust her. Even if they wanted to give us a gift of 1 billion, we say we can give 2 billion in this month. We can give 3 billion. Let's explore the opportunity. That is how to scale. But if you are the one that is seeing everything, managing director and managing director, you cannot move anywhere. That's the mistake that our parents make. Don't make those mistakes. They want to pass what they are doing to their children, but their children are not interested. And they don't find it necessary to train other people's children in the same skill, so the skills die with them. And today, they are not ready. So please, do all that you can to move yourself forward. There's a gentleman who says he's into writing and that he needs to scale. Please take my contact and then I'll tell you exactly some points because yours is different. Just to read English and literature does not mean that you have to lock down in a particular. There are several areas in that space that the only place that they're doing anything around that. As much as you love it, there are other areas that you can expand into and you can train other people to do it so that at the end of the day, it's not requiring you to sit down all day, anything before you can get paid. Are we together? So the final thing that I would message to everyone of you, whether you wrote a question or you didn't write a question, is to understand that this training, everything my madam has said and what other people will still say in the afternoon, you must understand that you have to take responsibility. What do I say? Take responsibility. You must think big. Madam gave you that slide. Please go and read it again. It is not money that produces millionaires. It is not idea that produces millionaire. What produces millionaire? A decision that I am not going to be poor. That is the first one. Me, I will never be poor. No? When you do that every morning, then your thinking will be different from the guy who just waiting to receive salary at the end of the month. Because nobody receives salary and become millionaire, they think they go and steal in the company. And these days, the technology, with all the things that are happening, stealing is becoming much more difficult. If you steal it only for a particular time, when you do audit, they will catch you and you go to jail. So why not just use your brain, decide to do the right thing, and before you know it, your business is scaling. Every opportunity that we have. I remember coming to treasure of this hall before me. Today, I walk in and I'm wondering, the place shrink? It didn't shrink, it is my idea that I've gone big. I was looking at United Nations headquarters in New York, it's 5,000 audience. The total audience here is still not up to 500. You still understand what I'm saying? So it's actually a bit small to me because of my experience. So that's how you should be uncomfortable playing small. Are we together? If you are selling 100 accounts of your product, you are still playing small. You must be selling million accounts. So you must plan how your 10,000 accounts become a million over a period of time. And you must be measuring what you do not measure, you cannot change. You must get uncomfortable. The person who said he's doing like the rent is thinking of how to scale. You cannot scale like the rent, you are still the one that is trying and pressing it. You have to think beyond that. You have to look at a group of agreement makers who will do the work for you and you will
No, we don't have problem.
I want us to stand up. Let's rise. She mentioned that Assault's birthday, I want to sing your birthday. Awesome. This is how I want to say. I try to say that I don't be a good singer by myself. Let's do it together. Happy birthday to you, right? Here. See? Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Alright. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to yourself. God bless you, Jesus. God bless you. We want to have our online speakers. So we know we are we just want to get a confirmation for the media. They are ready for us. So we have to take photographs. Photographs. So yeah, let's take photographs. How we are with the international speakers. Picture. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, president, immediately have to thank you. Now, 8:30, let us still that you can see just the picture.
Hello, is he on?
Yes.
It's not online.
Not online. I don't know his problem.
Message him.
Just do that at the house, that's where you know. Thank you so much.
When you see this thing, be letting them in our head.
Yeah, you
We are still setting it up, so they are not ready yet. So quickly, it's your time, it's your opportunity to win amazing gifts. You got to have something called raffle draw. That has to be taken care of by Dr. Larry. You're welcome, sir. It's better for you to clap now so that at least you can.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are having nice time out. And in the process, I also guess we are taking some notes. And hopefully, beyond the year, those notes will be very beneficial to us. Sometimes it's not monetary benefits.
So hello, sir. Can you hear us now?
In terms of value,
Are you talking to me?
I
Yeah.
believe
Rich, who is Zoom user? Don't worry, I will move up from here.
why sometimes said that the best our parents give to us, but the best legacy our parents give to us, education. And I think that's one of the reasons for our presence here today. Few things, but before then, it's important to equally add this short note. The issue of entrepreneurship, I always tell people, is beyond businesses and it's beyond enterprises. You know what it is? It's actually the creativity in each and every one of us. Oftentimes, there's something we call layman palace. We say we all have talent. Is that not? It simply means that we are all an embodiment of creativity. It's only left for you to be able to discover yours. Entrepreneurs are a set of people who oftentimes will see opportunities where others are seeing challenges. They are the set of people who will see opportunities where you are seeing liabilities. And if you look to the left and to the right, you could both have two eyes to look at these two dimensions. However, you may likely not be seeing the same thing. So each of us, if you look deeply, we will see beyond what ordinary eyes will see. And it is from such areas that you'll be able to bring out what will attract value. And in our society, there are several of these. And I feel strongly that please use this opportunity to understand the fact that in everything you see, identify an opportunity therein. And you can grow and run with it. This is one of the key elements that the university has deemed it fit to establish the unit, I think it's a center now. Center for Career Development and Counseling Services, where oftentimes they engage all of us. I think this becomes very important if you actually want to move forward. Please be a creative person. If it is a product you intend to engage to work with, do it differently. And if it is services, ensure it's different. Somebody shared an experience with me not too long ago, and I think it's the creativity out of nothingness. This person understands that one of the key barriers
to profitability in laundry business.
Can you hear me?
Is that not? This special are okay from my area. Where I will ensure that there is 24 hours of life for every service.
Is on like
Is this because
yes. It's not on.
Is it no?
We
Am
are
I
muted.
muted?
No, you can never.
You can hear us now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, we are even done when it's ready.
I am ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Come and come and
I've been waiting for you guys. I'm ready.
Just give us 2 minutes. Let me quit talking.
Okay, cool.
Hello, sir. Please give us 5 minutes. Just give us 5 minutes. We'll come up now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, no shaking.
Yeah, that's good. So we having network issues on this side. That's not a problem. Very good. So if you are able to solve it, maybe we'll use your phone to use it. You understand? But if not,
Here, working for the storage. People with storage, ask, oh, some people have done that, they didn't come up with anything. People would say that, oh, they think what you want to do makes sense, and things like that. People would say that. You see, you have the office to undertake, people would say that. But we have the ready to simply and following us. Everybody will learn to if you need to care to listen. I don't know, sir. Now we go out with the so we hold on for the
I've accepted. I've seen. The American have accepted them.
20. Okay. I tell you to start.
All right, so we'll be waiting for.
Hello, sir. You can start now, please. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, okay, cool. Do you want to start sharing? I need permission to share.
What many other people online?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, you need to give me the share capabilities.
Give us mic. Give us mic.
Not the mic. I need to be able to share the screen.
Okay, make him. Please play sound, please.
Say again.
Just give us a minute. We make you host now.
Okay, cool. And is it gonna be showing on the screen in the place?
So you cannot share your screen.
Thank
So
you.
you're a co-host. Who else? Someone else to join. You need someone else to join. Bro, find a way of joining. Look for good network. Stand up, look for network. I don't know. Let's look for network.
Join.
Oh yeah, join this one. Join this one. What's the name?
So just a quick one.
Just
Is
give
this
us
good?
a minute.
Okay, no
It's
problem.
yes, it's perfectly okay. We are just having issues with sound so that our audience can hear you clearly. So we
Okay,
have a network issue inside the control room here. So with
no
our
problem.
system, but we are connected with a new network. And hey, you are welcome back. Flick your phone, is it back on? So join the Zoom now. Join the Zoom. Join the Zoom. Zoom. The link sent to you the money.
So just so I'm clear, is this going to be projected on the screen?
But is your phone? Can we connect your phone with this? That's. You know, time is going. Let's start. Let's do the mic with this phone.
Yes, I want to make it. What's the name?
Are you in?
It might be meant to inside. That's
So just a quick one. Is this going to be streaming in the hall?
Oh yeah, I'll be able to see.
Oh,
Guys,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear
You
you.
can start, sir.
Okay. Is this streaming inside the hall? Is it going out in the hall?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ah, cool. No problem. So
Yes,
shall
sir.
I get started?
Yes, sir.
Tell me when to start. Am I good to start? Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Today we're going to be looking at your pathway to becoming a world-class AI, data science, and machine learning professional. Okay. And so we're going to be looking at the potential that we've got in this field. My intention is to just give you some information over the next 30 minutes or so. And then at the end of it, we will open up the floor for questions and answers in regards to, into regards to what we're going to talk about right now. As I'm sure you are all aware, AI is currently reshaping every industry. So, from finance to health, agriculture, education, globally, you name it. It's the biggest change that we've seen globally in the history of humankind. Okay. The thing is that companies, and when I say companies, this is companies all over the world, they are urgently needing people who understand data and can apply AI responsibility. So we'll start looking at that and what that means for you in a bit more details. Um, Young Africans like yourself, especially Nigerians, because I mean we have the tenacity, we have the brain, we have all of that, right? Are entering into this field in record numbers. We're seeing it a lot over here in the UK, across the States, in Europe, and the opportunities are open to you all in Nigeria who are on ground too. And the thing is, with the right foundations, the right mindset, this is a great opportunity. It is a realistic pathway. Doesn't matter where you're starting, the options are very much available. So it's important to understand that these opportunities are not just available in the UK, where I'm based, or in the States, or in Silicon Valley. They are popping up all over the world. And my intention today is to talk you through what those opportunities look like and to give you a roadmap that you can easily follow in order to achieve the outcomes if you do decide that that's where you want to go. But first of all, let me give you a bit of an introduction to who I am. So, my name is Adewale Shikoya. I am an AI strategist and consultant. I'm actually from Shagamu, Ijebu. All right. So, for all of you from Ogun State, nice to see you all. Okay. For over 20 years, I have been working in the digital transformation space. So, globally, I'm based in the UK, but my clients include the likes of Boeing, Jaguar and Land Rover, Barclays, Lloyd's, etc. So I've worked across manufacturing, finance, media, you name it. I'm also the author of Waterfall to Agile, and I am a trainer. So today I've trained nearly 30,000 people globally, over 2,000 people in AI use. And one of my key areas is leadership in AI strategy. So, how do you use AI, workflow optimization, and responsible adoption? Hopefully, you'll start recognizing that these are some key things. Ultimately, I am an innovation advisor. I like to work with SMEs, professionals, students to help them to untap their own potential, especially in this new emerging market that we're talking about here. So, when we start talking about world class, what does that really look like in today's world? Okay. Now, to be a world class AI or data or machine learning professional, what you've got to be able to do is to consistently deliver solutions that are robust technically, that are reliable, and they align with real business and societal needs. But it's also got to be a standard that is competitive in any global market. The AI market, like I said before, is a fast moving and dynamic market. It is moving quicker than anything we've seen before. And we're now moving away from just the need to be book smart or technically smart. It's also a wider set of skill sets that will enable you to be world class. And we'll look at that in a lot more detail. And so for that reason, you've got to have the ability to collaborate across different cultures, different disciplines, and also have the ability to communicate clearly with non-technical stakeholders. So it's not about going and using keyword or technical words and everything. You've got to be able to communicate with a wide range of different people who may not have the technical understanding. And you've also got to be able to keep pace in a very fast moving industry. How many of you recognize that AI, data analysis, machine learning, all of that is a fast moving area? Now, some of the key things and types of roles that you could be potentially looking at in these areas, which are emerging, are things like data scientists and machine learning engineers, AI engineers, data engineers, AI product managers, AI researcher, data analysts, analytics scientists, natural language processing experts, computer vision. All of these type of things are specialisms and opportunities that are opening up across the world globally as more and more AI expands and large language models and machine learning and different concepts are coming into play. These are the skill sets that are becoming in great demand. Now, some of the key responsibilities that you would be responsible, or these type of roles are responsible, is fixing and finding messy business problems or social problems, and then helping to frame that in terms of data and machine learning. The key thing about AI, as many of you may be aware, is AI is only as good as the data that it's processing. We know that AI can do things really fast, way faster than most human beings can. Well, yeah, in some instances than any human being can. But the reality is, for lots of organizations, they still find themselves in places where they have lots of data which might be messy, which might not necessarily be in the right place for them to be able to use it to get the real benefits. And so part of what, as a data analyst professionist, depending on which role you're going to go into, would be to help organizations to make sense of that data. And even then, before they even feed it into their AI systems or the systems that they're developing. This may involve you having to collect information and data from many different places. That could be physical data or information which is still not digitalized. But what we're finding, and having spent a lot of time in big data and digital transformation, is lots of organizations, the bigger they are, will have lots of data. However, that data sometimes needs to be transformed, it needs to be cleaned, it needs to be verified from multiple different sources, and there can be lots of conflicts in that data before they can even then start realizing the benefits from AI. This is becoming something that's widely recognized by many organizations who are trying to use AI, and that is therefore creating a big demand for those who have skill sets in data scientists, data analysis, those type of areas, and that can then feed that into machine learning. In addition, it's also going to be about developing, building, evaluating large language models and machine learning models, anywhere from classic MLs to deep learning and large language models as well. Again, start thinking about it over here. One of the big questions many of us, especially of us from Nigeria or from black countries, is also looking at the situation whereby many of the systems we have out there at the moment, the large language models, they represent a Eurocentric type of view of the world. The question is, and there are many opportunities that I believe will open up, maybe there's some of you in the room who are already working on this or who will potentially be working on this, is how do we create large language models which are trained on our culture, our language, our belief systems, our views, the ways we do things. And that's becoming very important. In addition, you'll be looking at things like monitoring, improving, governing those models. So once we get out there, how do you ensure that they continually perform, they're fair, they're reliable, and then also being able to communicate insights. So being able to look at the data, understand the outputs from these models, and then be able to communicate that to key stakeholders, whether that be people financing it, would it be people building it, etc., and being able to provide narratives. And also, yeah, just so as you can see, it's going to be quite a wide set of things that would be required to do. But it's an interesting field. It's a field that's opening up and it allows you to bring a lot of potential. Before we spoke that there's different industries that are opening up. So if you think about it, automation, improving decisions in finance, we're already seeing that across finance and fintechs. Health, key thing. Agriculture, how do we use AI to actually improve the outputs that we get from our agriculture? Logistics, marketing, government, you name it. It is creating and opening up many opportunities. And again, underneath it all are people who have expertise in data analysts, data science, and also machine learning. This is being used to drive new products, come up with new revenue streams, new ideas, new initiatives as well as increasing our overall operational efficiency and reducing costs and getting things done smarter. So again, you'll be at a key point in this. An understanding around this is that organizations and employers are looking for people who can solve real problems. So they're not just looking for people who can do code. Okay, so this is not just about, oh yeah, I can sit down, I can run Python, I can do X, Y, Z, I can analyze stuff. Yes, those are going to be good, but in effect, what you're also going to need is ability to solve real problems, to be able to think outside of the box. Now, here's a key thing, and I think this is really fundamental and important that we understand as well. When we talk about world class, especially into today's age, it is as much about mindset as by skills. Let me say that again. It's much about mindset as it is about skills. It's not just about being book savvy, but it's also having the ability to interact and understand people. And there's a number of key things that you would also need to have. And if you don't have them, you can develop them that are going to help you to succeed as a world-class AI data analyst, machine learning professional. And that's going to be a combination of deep curiosity. You got to have the ability to be able to ask the questions about why and what if. Be ready to go away and do lots of research and read papers and explore what's new and play with new tools and run experiments. This may not be defined by your employer or by your teacher or your professor. This is going to be something innate which you've got to develop to go out and have a look at. You've also got to have grit and resilience. So that means you've got to be able to push through things that might not be making sense, things that are not working, models that might fail. Also, it may include things like rejection around jobs. It's not every job that you're going to apply for that you're potentially going to get, even if you are qualified for it. But again, I believe that as young people and in Nigeria, in the context of the environment, many of you already have grit and resilience. Over here in the West and in the States and Canada and all those type of places, there's one thing that we Nigerians always say is if you can survive in Nigeria, you can survive anywhere else because grit and resilience is part of what is baked into our DNA. And so again, that will be for many of you an innate skill set that you already have, and it's important. You've also got to have the ability to be able to experiment. So understanding that we won't have all the answers. AI is a field that is expanding rapidly. And even a lot of the people who are at the height of their careers and might be thought leaders recognize that we don't have all the answers. There's still things that we are figuring out. So you've got to also be able to understand how to be able to come up with hypotheses and test very fast, and not necessarily work with fixed plans. Things will constantly change and you've got to be able to flex with that. Communication, again, we said before, is the ability to be able to explain to people complex ideas, not from the point of view of making them feel like, oh, they don't get it, but you've got to use simple language, okay, to managers, clients, and teammates. I've forgotten the name of that governor in Nigeria. What was his name? The one that they used to call the parrot. Yeah, many of you might know him, who used big English. Even myself, I used to have to go and get dictionary out to understand what the guy was talking about in the Senate. Okay, this is not about that. This is about explaining complex ideas very simply to other people. Another big thing that you need to start thinking about here as well is ethics and responsibility. So, how do you create products, services, and involve people in conversations, which is an awareness of things like bias? So, it's recognizing that AI systems, depending on how the data is going into them or how they train, sometimes can have bias and have the wrong outputs. A big consideration is also around GDPR. So, how do we protect data? How do we ensure security? How do we ensure the right governance? Okay. And how do you ensure fairness when you're using data? These are big considerations for lots of companies. And again, you'll be at the forefront of this. And we've spoken before about the fact that you're going to need to have the ability and the people skills to collaborate with people, managers from different non technical users from different domains and cultures. Some of the other interesting things that you might want to think about. So if you in typical interest, you might have math and logics, maybe just an interest in them, coding, automation, building tools. Those are things that you would be interested in and should start developing. Again, it's also about looking at real problem solving, especially in domains like payment, transport, farming, health, and education. These are going to be fundamental. I'd encourage you even every day whilst you're doing stuff, even where you are right now at the University of Ibadan. Just start getting your mind into the process of looking around you at your immediate environment and start asking yourself, how could I solve this problem? How would I go about solving this problem? This will start getting you into a mindset. Your brain will start automatically getting into a mindset of identifying problems and also then finding solutions. I'm telling you, there's a big industry for people who can come up with solutions, especially now we have the technology that can take what we think here in terms of solving problems and give us step by step ways to solve them. Again, do lots of research and reading, looking at blogs, YouTube, documentations, papers, case studies. Loads of that information is out there. So naturally start moving towards that and then start also combining it with product and business thinking. Asking yourself as a data analyst at a technical level, how can I start then tying this back to solving problems, business outcomes? I had the honorable speaker there before saying that entrepreneurs are people who simply identify problems and go after it. Even as a data analyst and machine learning, adopt an entrepreneur mindset. Start looking for potential. There's a problem there. Maybe this product could solve it. I can use data to be able to support this or help, or at least offer myself to people who might be working in those areas. Okay. You might start off by taking small steps, like I said, like that, working on small models with a view that over time you will get into positions whereby you might take ownership of projects. You might start off being mentored, then you might move into actually mentoring other people, and then over time become a expert. One word I would suggest to you is this: if you are going to become a go-to expert, choose a specific area, so whether that's fraud detection, agriculture, healthcare, and then focus yourself on that area so that you can build your expertise in that. Okay. Just some quick things that you should also start looking at. Now, the global trends that we're seeing around the world at this moment is that roughly 4 in 5 businesses are now using AI in at least one function. Okay, I just finished delivering a workshop right now to a number of businesses, and nearly all of them are using AI. If not, they are looking at bringing in AI. I have been in this field of digital and overall business transformation, and we've never before seen everybody talking about the same thing. Everyone's talking about AI. How can they use it? But also the considerations now, like I said before, about how do we know we've got the right data? How do we make sure we've got the right data? How do we make sure that data is secure? How do we make sure it's ethical? How do we make sure we're using it in the right way and we're compliant? Those are the big questions. I was at a conference in Brussels last week. It's the data protection conference, and you had people from some of the world's largest organizations from all over around the world there. And that's the key question that many of the experts are asking. In this day and age, now that we're starting to understand the capabilities of AI, and even then we're only scratching the surface, how do we now start accounting for the data and the protections and all the other great things around it? Start looking at those things because many organizations are moving towards that. Generative AI, so things like your ChatGPT, Gemini, all of those type of models, as you're quite aware, they're being integrated to many products and workflows. Okay, whether it's co-pilots, chat assistants, content generators, and things like machine learning operations and AI engineering are very much industries that are fast maturing as companies are moving more and more towards experimentation to production, and now realizing they need robust infrastructure and governance to support that. Now, out of that, what you're seeing is traditional roles, okay, traditional data roles like data scientists and analysts spending more time looking at problem framing, how they're going to do stakeholder engagement, higher level modeling, okay, with a little bit of code and analysis, but doing it alongside AI tools. We're seeing whole new industries opening up around new roles like prompt engineering and Gen AI engineer and AI safety ethics specialist, data governance lead, AI product managers, and the likes. These are all beginning to increase in demand. So, again, if you want to start looking at areas which are not saturated, which are newly emerging, and potentially are going to be needed throughout the evolution of AI, then it's worth looking at that as well. Just to add to that, over here in the West, there's a skill shortage. In the UK, there is a skill shortage in these areas. Why? Because these are new areas that are opening up and the skills are not there. And so, what we are finding is there's a bigger demand for people across the globe who have those skill sets in many countries like in the UK, America, across Europe, Canada. Many of them are also looking favorably across the globe at providing entry requirements which are favorable for people who have those skills. In other words, it makes it easier for people to get visas and to work in different places around the world when they can demonstrate that though they have those skills. And many opportunities are opening up. That said, I'm also aware that there are many opportunities opening up in Nigeria based on the national AI strategy in place, and also places like South Africa, Rwanda, Kenya, Egypt. All of them are also heavily investing in AI and infrastructure, etc. So again, it's creating many opportunities for those of you who may be interested. Again, there's more and more demand, not only coming from the private sector, but also government sectors, public sectors as well, startup opportunities across many different areas. And so, in terms of skill sets, what's required in helping to build co-pilots and RAG systems based on African data. So this is what we talked about before. There are many initiatives that are opening up about how do you start building LMs in actually African languages. Right now, it's hard, especially based on platforms like ChatGTP or Gemini. They're getting better from when they started, but to be able to put in Yoruba or to put in different dialects of Yoruba in order for it to be able to understand because it hasn't been trained in that way. But then when you start thinking about the population in terms of Yoruba speaking or Hausa speaking or any of the indigenous languages in Nigeria, not to mention Africa, the solutions that can be tied into that. There are many local companies who are looking for solutions like that and are employing people who can come in and help with multilingual AI solutions. Okay, so again, start looking at all those things as possible. So we're now moving from experimentation to production. And the key then is to start looking at how can you help support that? How can you support that growth? How can you support local ecosystems, national strategies, and public-private programs? If you think about it, we have the national strategy that's emerging in Nigeria. Okay, potentially I know that there's an initiative that we are aware of whereby they are looking for people from the diaspora to be able to come back home and input into that national strategy. Why not also, as any of you are in the room, any of you can also be contributors to that. In fact, as people who live on ground, you're most probably going to understand some of the contexts way better than those of us who are not on the ground. And so again, it's about how do you start building your skill sets and positioning yourself for what is about to come, what is already in place, so that you have many opportunities available to you. So let's start looking at some of the numbers. Okay, those numbers, these are just some suggestions about what potential numbers might look like, but let's start looking at some of those numbers as well in terms of earning potential. Okay, now based on research, and this is obviously going to vary depending on where you are or whatever, but some of those numbers is as an entry level data analyst machine learner, you could be looking at anywhere from 150K to 400K, I think it is, per month that you're looking at in regards to these different areas. Mid career, 400K to 900K, or 900K to 2.5 million per month, senior level. Okay, on a monthly basis in some of these areas. Now, these are starting salaries in Nigeria or across the board. But when you start looking at places like South Africa, again, these are just information that we are able to get through sources. You would know better what's on ground. And again, part of your research will be to look into this to actually work out where are these being offered. Obviously, these are just rough estimates. Doesn't mean that you're always going to get it. Doesn't mean that everywhere it's going to be offered. But these are opportunities that are worth looking at. South Africa, it tends to be paying in regards to Africa at the moment. In the table that I saw, I believe that they tend to be playing even higher rates as well, and Kenya and other places. But then when you start looking at what this looks like globally, so in effect, the AI market is currently valued at 757.6 billion in 2025. Okay, depending on what sources you look at. It's projected to reach nearly 3.7 trillion by 2034. So what we're talking about is US in terms of those numbers. Think about that large size of money. Now, in the USA, entry-level jobs for this type of area that we're talking about, from a data analyst, machine learning specialist type of view, can be anywhere from 70,000 to 100,000 US dollars per year. In for the mid, you're looking at anything from 110 to 160, and for senior, you could be anywhere from 160 to 220 plus. Okay, in Europe, where I'm based, mid level 40 to 60,000. Mid level, at entry level 40 to 60,000. Okay, that over here entry level is considered to be quite good, very good. In fact, there are many senior roles in other areas that's the best you could get at a senior level. Okay, mid-level you're looking at 60 to 80,000, and senior level can be anywhere from 80,000 to 120. Again, what I'm saying to you, these are just figures to help you to set expectations, but in effect, there is a lot of earning potential in these areas. And the great thing is, with the technology and everything else, the ability to work remotely is available to you. So it just basically means that actually, and I know people are doing that at the moment, who have decided that actually the cost of living over here in these countries very expensive, and so therefore they do things remotely. Okay, so just some things to look at. Before that, again, we said there's lots of opportunities that are opening up across Nigeria, to start thinking about the possibilities that are available to you and what you can start doing to support that. Just to start wrapping up right now, and I'll open up the floor for presentations. Okay, and so for questions. So here's just a few things you might want to start looking at foundation wise. So you might start looking at how do you introduce Python, SQL, statistic data cleaning, simple ML algorithms, etc., to help you along that journey. Intermediate level as well, start looking at things like cloud, and then moving more into the advanced areas as well. In regards to tooling, you've got many different opportunities. So there's cloud learning platforms, there's online platforms, there's online resources that you could be using to support you, to help you to learn. So you don't need to necessarily have to do it directly in the university. Look for things online, certifications that you might follow, like cloud certifications, etc., that are going to support you in your journey. And just be hungry. Get as much information as you can as possible. Okay. So just to wrap things up, bottom line is this: you don't have to be a genius, right? You can start where you are, put into practice, do your research, find out what skill sets are needed, and then just go forward. There's a great need urgently around the world for people to have these skill sets. So again, it provides you with opportunities if you understand how to solve problems. Nigeria, Africa are building AI capacity, and if you're already on the ground, you can help with that. The fact that you can work remotely means that you could actually work directly from Nigeria and still work for an international company if you want and get paid in dollars and pounds. Okay. Use the AI tools out there to accelerate your learning and to help you become much more productive. And start small. Start with something small. Build yourself little by little. And then, yeah, join communities. They can be online, offline, and ask questions. And then over 2 to 3 year, 3 to 5 year plan, you can position yourself as a very world-class expert in this field. Okay. I'm mindful of the time, so I'm trying to wrap things up for you. So any questions at this stage? So opening up for questions and answers. I can't hear anybody in there. So can anyone hear me?
He's on.
Sure. Cool. Any questions from anybody? Okay, so well, if I assume that there are no questions from anybody.
Very much. So, we are asking our question after the next, after the last guest speaker. So please
Yes.
hold on, because after this session, we are going to ask our question together. I will give you a round of applause. So that's the session. So we are moving down to the next guest speaker. Just want to introduce Mr. Today Najosi is a highly seasoned professional with over 3 decades of experience spanning the oil and gas industry. Represents 20 years in financial services. His work was constantly building impactful transformation through electronic channel strategy, organizational restructuring, and the development of innovative finance products that enhance customer care experience across diverse market segments. Academically accomplished, he holds an MBA from Harvard University, a master's degree in information technology, and is a fellow of both the British Computer Society and the Chartered Institute. He has also completed the advanced management program at Windows Business School, currently serving as additional head of technology and innovation at Central Securities Clearing System PLC. He leads cutting-edge technological initiatives, while remaining deeply committed to mentoring young professionals and shaping the next generation of industry leaders.
Please let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you well, sir.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. I have a cold, so you bear with me because of the cold. So I'm going to be taking us through Pitch Like a Pro. And basically, it's looking at how we can improve how we sell things that we want people to buy. Pitching is selling. And every single one of us, one way or the other, we get involved in selling. If you want to be hired in a job, you have to sell yourself. If you want to get funding, you have to sell yourself. Everything you do involves a sort of pitching. But in the presentation today, I'm going to be basically teaching you how to pitch if you want to win maybe a grant, you want to pitch for people to invest into your business or even invest into your life. So pitch like a pro, winning ideas, winning opportunity. I'm Tobe Nadozi, and I think some background information about me has been given. But maybe one of the things that has not been said is that every year I get involved in events that we raise funds, we listen to new businesses, they pitch, and after they finished pitching, we end up funding their businesses. We do this every year. And I also sit as a judge or panelist in some other events, apart from this one that I'm a major part of. So we'll be going through introduction to pitching. We'll also look at the core elements of a winning pitch. There are some things which we'll look at. Then for you to pitch, you have to build the deck. It's one of the core elements of a winning pitch. So how do you build the pitch deck? Then how do you tell your stories? Life is about telling stories. If you don't know how to tell your stories, it means you don't know how to sell. So look at how you tell your stories. Then we'll look at execution, delivery, and conclusion. Let's start with pitching. Like I told you earlier on, every single one of us, one way or the other, we're involved in pitching. If you meet your supervisor, for those of you who are in final year, to let your supervisor quantify what you are doing and put value to it and tell you, yes, it's good enough for you to graduate. It is pitching. And I know many of you are on campuses and we have people connecting who are not on campuses. The truth is, pitching is a way of life. You need to learn how to pitch because it's through pitching that you can open doors to funding. It's through pitching that you can get into partnerships. It's through pitching that you can win your first set of customers that you would use as a reference to get other customers. It's through pitching that those ideas and visions that you have, you can make them to become things that are real and believable. So pitching is important. And it's important in pitching that you combine your facts with what connects to the people. You know, pitching is not just about talking facts. How you present the facts is very, very important. So in pitching, you have to combine a compelling presentation of the facts in such an emotional way to resonate with the hearers, because people pay a premium not just for the quality of what you sell, but because of the passion which they attach to what you sell. And pitching matters because it gives people an understanding of what you want them to buy into. It gives people trust that what you want to do matters. And let me tell you, students and participants who are non-students, the truth about life is that those who know how to pitch best, they end up getting most times the best in life. I found out in my career, I found out in engaging with people that it's not how technically sound you are that makes you get a better job. It's how you present that technical soundness. And that is what pitching is all about. So pitching matters. What makes your pitching to be a winning pitch? If you notice, I took facts, logic, I took things that are data to the last. The first thing that is important when you make a pitch is your connection to the people you are making a pitch to. Are you connecting to them emotionally? Can they relate to your story? I remember this year when we went for our annual event where we listened to new investors, new businesses, and give them. A lady won. And at the end of the day, she did not only win the award, a number of investors who were at that event were saying, oh, I'm going to sponsor this part. I'm going to sponsor this part. I'm going to sponsor this part. Guess what? It wasn't that her pitch was necessarily the best, but she connected to us emotionally. She told a story about how when she had her child, she did not have people to support her. She told the story about how she was looking for where she could even pay to get certain things for her child that could contain all she needed. The clothes, the food, everything as a package, and she did not find. And guess what? She told how it affected her life, affected her career, affected her marriage, affected her child. And she became emotional. She started crying, genuine tears, because she was like, if only I had someone who is selling what I'm pitching, my marriage would not have gone the way it went. My career would not have gone the way it went. And she said, because of what she passed through, she had decided to prepare this product. I don't think it was the product that we bought. Every one of us who have been parents, we connected to the fact as men that there was a time when our wife gave birth to a child. We didn't have some of those things in place. We knew how it made us to leave the office early sometimes, or to have sleepless nights sometimes. And guess what? The emotional connection made us listen to everything. So when you want to give a winning pitch, the first thing, there needs to be a connection. If people see your pitch as someone who is coming to pitch because he wants to just take our money, they will not connect to what you want to sell. I remember when I was in relationship management in the bank, and someone came to pitch to me. I remember him very well. He entered my office and he sat down. He said, well, I'm here to sell a product to you. He said, let me warn you. I mean, this was the man talking to me. He said, let me warn you. I've gone to the first bank. Nobody responded. Gone to the second bank. I think he had gone to about 4 banks or thereabouts at that time. And he said, nobody bought into my product. He said, see, they are missing something. He said, I want you to buy into my products. You will not regret. And he told me a story. He said, I'm not a professional. It was yogurt. He said, I'm not a professional in making yogurt. But guess what? I can sell sand. I said, tell me what you have sold. And he told me what he sold. Told me this. I said, so what have you done about the yogurt? He told me. He said, I've gone to somewhere, Shanghai Link, or something like that in the north. And I've seen one of the best yogurts. He said, I'm about to make the best yogurts. And you know, he was so clear about what he wanted. He had connected to me emotionally because he was like, don't be like others that won't listen to what I want to sell and they will close it down. Emotional connection, clarity. I said, what do you want? He brought out a document, asked me for how much he wanted, broke down what that money was going to do. Everything was spot on. Told me when he will repay back the money. Against the rules of the bank, where you need to put your collaterals and all those things in place, or lend against balance sheets. I went to my branch manager, then I was not a manager, and I said, see, I want to take a risk on this man. And he said, are you ready to take a risk on your salary? I said, yes, I will. I want to invest in this man's business. I believe that if it is even sand, this man can sell sand. And not only that, he's made some efforts and he knows what he wants. He knows how he will pay it back. That guy became one of the biggest customers I had when I was in marketing. He knew what he wanted. He knew how much. He knew what he was going to use the money for. So if you want to make a pitch, connect emotionally. If you want to make a pitch, let your communication be clear. Don't make it too complex. When it is too complex, it's difficult for anyone to understand. And be focused. Don't come and waste our time telling us stories that don't matter. I remember in the one which we had this year, somebody came and he was just talking to his PowerPoint presentation. Why are you coming to pitch to me when you are not pitching from your heart? You are not focused and he's busy reading research. I know more figures of this research than you because it's my money you need. So I was busy wasting his time on the presentation. I looked for something else to do on my phone. When you want to make a pitch, pitch from your heart. Know what you have. I'll talk a little bit about that. Be focused on what you want. Then also, don't get too emotional that you don't bring in logic. Anyone who wants to release his funds for somebody to pitch and for someone to use for something, I did not make my money picking money in the air. My investors that give me money to invest in businesses, they did not make their money just picking money from trees. They worked hard to make their money. So don't come and talk to my emotions without giving me facts. Give me solid facts. Facts that will build trust. Facts that will inspire confidence that I know you have done. These 4 things are very important when you want to make a pitch. Guess what? Try it on your supervisor today. When you go to your supervisor, the topic you have picked before you even come for money, when you go to your supervisor, the topic you have picked, why are you picking that topic? What emotional connection do you have to that topic? You know, sometimes people want to go for master's or PhD, and they tell them to write a statement of purpose. You are writing a statement of purpose, and you are busy telling me about history. How does that statement of purpose connect to you? So if you want to meet your supervisor, ask yourself, what is my connection to this, my project? I know some people will say, sir, maybe you have forgotten that this is Nigeria. And in Nigeria, they just give you any topic to write, whether it is emotionally connected or not, whether there is a reason or for it or not. They just force you to write anything. Yes, but guess what? If you want approval, let there be some connection. Be very, very clear. Don't go and take something that somebody in the business center has given to you to go and pitch to your supervisor. Read through, write down what you want to communicate. I always tell people, anything you cannot summarize in a sentence doesn't make sense to you. You can give me all the details later, but there should be a statement that should summarize what you want to do. So if you want to have a winning pitch, emotional connection, clarity in communication, focus, then make sure you add facts to balance your logic. I'll take us through, and you can go check this book, Steps to Creating and Delivering a Winning Pitch, and also another one, Break New Grounds. These 2 books have pulled core elements of a winning pitch from it. And I'll take you through them. Number 1, understand your audience well and tailor your pitch accordingly. It's called personality profiling. If I want to come and pitch to you, I need to know what connects to you. See, I'm saying emotion. There are some people who are not emotional in any way. If you come and pitch to them and you are telling stories, they just look at you as unserious people. So know who you want to pitch to. Make sure that you profile the influential people. What I always advise people is, before you make your pitch, if you can watch the panel or the person you are pitching to talk to somebody else, it gives you an understanding of the personality of the person. Number 2, you need to understand the person's needs, not just your needs. So if you come to meet me, for example, and say, oh, the other day, someone called me from one of the universities and said he wants to build a cybersecurity solution. And oh, he has met his friends, they've designed this, they've designed that, and he needs money so that he can invest and do this, so I can invest in his business. He will develop this cybersecurity solution. When he develops this cybersecurity solution, people will respect him more in his school as a cybersecurity expert. And he finished talking about it. And when he finished, I said, let me go and think about it. Most times, when someone says, let me go and think about it, it means I'm not connected to what you are talking about. And I went and sat down and I'm like, okay, he wants people in his school to know he's a cybersecurity expert. He wants to use my money to prove to people that he's a cybersecurity expert. He should go and make his own money. But guess what? If he had come and meet me to say, oh, sir, we know you are the chairman of a cybersecurity, company, and it might have this cybersecurity solution, which your company can invest in. This is what it is going to do. This is what it's going to do. And you can sell it. These are the customers that can buy it. And he makes me with that. And in my head, I'm cracking. Okay, these are cybersecurity company. If we onboard this product as one of our products, how much are we going to make? What are we going to, invest? Okay, maybe it needs about 10, 12 million or 15 million or even 5 million. This 5 million, in the next 2 years, I'll probably make, my head will begin to calculate. So when you want to make a pitch, understand what the person needs. Don't just come and present your need. You are not making a pitch for someone to meet your needs alone. It has to be mutual. Then be solution-minded. Don't come and make a pitch and be telling me about challenges. I can hear about challenges. In fact, sometimes I refuse to listen to social media because social media is full of challenges. The news is full of challenges. Don't come and tell me too much challenges. Be solution-minded. Let your pitch give me a solution. You want to come and sell to me, for example, that the other day someone came to meet me and someone sold to me making pap, and packaging the pap and selling it in supermarkets. Now, you can be solution-minded or you can be problem-minded. The problem-minded person is the one that will come and say, sir, you know, I know how to make pap. I make a lot of pap. And when I make the pap gets wasted because I don't know where to sell the pap. You know I can do this very well. This country is just so hard. I don't know how I'm going to survive. I want you to come and invest money so that this pap which I'm producing, that's problem. You're telling me problem. Bandits are all over the country. I need to make money. I cannot, get corn from the farm because that's problem. I have enough ways of hearing problem. But guess what? Solution-minded person. She came to meet me. I said, see, I want to go into pap production. And this pap production, normally I make pap and it's waste because I'm not able to sell everything I have made. But I have discovered that if I package this pap properly, supermarkets will buy my pap because it's a no preservative pap. And I would let the supermarkets know that I will keep the pap. When it gets to the expiry date of the pap, I'm going to come and collect it and replace it so that they don't sell expired pap. And she told me, I need money. I have the pap. What I need the money for is to go for NAFDAC approval. What I need the money for is to go for the brand, all the things about the brand, the labels and all that. What I need the money for is to be able to do some social media marketing, especially for those in diaspora who may want me to deliver the pap. And I have gotten somebody who will help me deliver the pap in certain countries within a short time as wet food products. And by the time she finished selling it, I bought into it. Why? Because she was giving me solution. When you want to give a winning pitch, be solution-minded. Then, of course, make sure your presentation deck is beautiful and powerful. Even though many people, when you pitch to them, your presentation deck is an accessory to your presentation. You yourself have to know how to present. But guess what? It adds something to it. Then if you can, make a mock-up of your product. You want me to come and, the other day someone told me, he said he wanted to start producing a car in Ogun State. He wanted to produce solar-powered cars in Ogun State. And I loved the idea. And, he sold the idea to me, to be honest. But I asked, how long have you been on this? He's been on it for, I think, over 2 years. I asked, can I see a mock-up? Even if you produce the mock-up with cattle and you put all the solar elements there. Because I asked, the things you need to produce this, your car, he said they're about 80% or 85% based in Nigeria, local product. I said, so I'm fine. I said, but can I see a mock-up? And he said, well, part of the money which I will give will be used to produce a mock-up. That was the end of my conversation with him. Because I told him, in Maiduguri, people are producing cars locally, solar-powered, tricycles and small cars in Maiduguri, Borno State. I told him about a couple of other places where people are making local Nigerian-made solar cars. They may not be that popular, but they are producing it. They may not be as fine, but they are producing it. I said, if you've been on this for 2 years and you cannot give me, a mock-up, then I don't think it's something I want to do. So there are certain things which you want to pitch. You have to produce a mock-up. Another thing you need to do is get testimonials from current users or investors. Let me tell you something about reference. Reference sells more than self-statement. I can do this. I can do this. Who believes you can do it? That is credible enough for me to believe. The next thing is create explainer videos. Sometimes you may not be able to do a mock-up, but you can have a video that does things. And with the beauty of the phones which we have today, it's easy to create all these things. Then there's something called the icebreaker. When you are making a pitch, drop an icebreaker. Let me show you one. If I want to pitch, what do I want to? I want to pitch, let's say, this chocolate, for example. Are you seeing the chocolate? If you can see the chocolate, wave your hand at me. Wave your hand at me if you can see the chocolate. Oh, good. I want to pitch this chocolate. I want to start producing this chocolate in Nigeria. And I'm about to pitch it to bankers who are gathered together to see if they want to invest in my chocolate. Guess what my introduction would be? Lindor chocolate is produced currently in the USA. Nigerians buy Lindor chocolate and we spend about 4.5 billion naira importing chocolate from cocoa that is produced in the southwest here in Nigeria. I have created a separate product called Ibadan Lit that delivers the same quality of brand, quality of product at cheaper prices. And I have done samples. People have bought the samples. The references have come back good. I am asking for you to invest 50 million naira that will be repaid over a 2-year period at an interest rate of 30%, higher than the normal interest rate. I've raised funds from family and friends to start the production. Now is the time to edge higher in the production. I dropped the mic. Hello? Did you hear me? Make your introduction exciting. In that introduction, I've talked about chocolate. In that introduction, I've talked about the market opportunity. In that introduction, I've talked about what I need. In that introduction, I've talked about the returns to the people. Then I can now start breaking it. Spend your time to package an exciting introduction. Then explain the business opportunities. Then after that, talk about the business model which you would operate. Then state your unique selling point. Someone will ask me, okay, this chocolate which you want to sell, what is unique about it? And I will tell them, when you buy chocolate from US, you need to understand that the taste buds in Nigeria, because of the weather, the climate, the temperature is different from that of US. So when you buy chocolates from US, because they have acclimatized the chocolates to their, their weather, mine has been specially curated to fit Nigeria taste bud. So I will be like, okay, calm down. And I'll eat. Can you taste the two of them and see the difference? While still maintaining calories, I have ensured that my chocolates can align to the Nigerian taste bud. Unique selling points. Another unique selling point can be my chocolate is something that can be used across the world. The packaging is better than all other Nigerian packaging. I have fine-tuned my packaging to fit into any global packaging of company. You need to have a unique selling point. Why you believe that you can win the market? Then showcase your competence. Then they will not ask me, okay, we've seen the product. You yourself, tell us about yourself. And I'll be like, well, I've been in the banking space. I understand product because I've designed various products. I've invested in companies. I've seen the returns from these companies. I've sold companies I've bought and I've made margins from selling the companies. And also, I understand how money plays. And the rest assured, if you invest with me, you will get your return. I'm showing my own competence because they want to know you that you are the principal of this business. What do you have? Then detail your current achievements. You remember when I was pitching, I said I've raised money from family and friends. I've been able to do my own brand of the chocolate, do my own packaging of the chocolate. And here I am telling them to come and join. You need to tell us what you have done. Then make your demands and be very, very specific. I asked for 50 million naira. 50 million naira is to enable me increase production. I've already produced my samples. I've already done simulated sales. I already have some markups which I can make. I can tell you 50 million naira can give me almost about 60% returns on 50 million naira. And I'm ready to part with 30% for you. Make your presentation simple and short. If you talk too much, you will end up making unnecessary mistakes. And don't forget, the people you are pitching to, they are listening to so many people like you. Then anticipate and answer key questions. I always tell people, spend your time to ask yourself questions before you are asked questions. Spend your time to ask yourself questions before you are asked questions. Tell your friend, listen to me. What type of questions can you bring out of this? Then be ready to deal with objections and tough questions. See, for people to part with money, they are going to ask you tough questions because Nobody wants money to waste. The other day, someone came to me to come and say, oh, please, I need you to come and invest in business and all that. And I saw when he sent me the breakdown of what he wanted me to invest in, that he wanted to buy a car. I said, what are you buying a car for? He said the car is going to be used as the CEO, so that he can do more marketing and distribution. It's my money he wants to use to buy a car. Of course, that was the end of the pitch, because for me, it's not going into productive things. Car is an asset, but it's a deteriorating asset. You use my money to buy a car after 4 years, you say it's fully depreciated, and you say, oh, no. I said, no. If you cannot put my money into the productive aspect of your business, then don't come and ask me. So, but he couldn't respond. Guess what? I've also invested in some other businesses where the people will use it for things like that. But I see good reason. Maybe the person is telling me, oh, instead of buying a vehicle, I remember some time ago, I invested in a particular business into drinks. And the person told me, I want to buy a minibus. I'll use this minibus personally, but also use it for the business. Instead of hiring bosses to always do this is what the minibus will do. This is what the minibus will do. And even though I knew she was going to use the minibus also personally when she's going, maybe for events and all that, but guess what? It connected to what I wanted, because it wasn't just about buying my the bus for personal use. It was also about the business. So you need to make sure you prepare. Then please rehearse. You may not have more than 5 minutes to pitch. Make sure that 5 minutes, it counts. Don't just rehearse. Believe. If you don't believe when you are speaking, it will show that you don't believe. So if you want to give a winning pitch, you need to understand that a winning pitch starts from you believing in yourself, believing in what you want to say. See, let me tell you, when you have confidence, your confidence is like an aura. People will believe it. But when what you are pitching, you don't believe. You are looking at what you are pitching. You don't understand what you are pitching. You are short selling yourself. They ask you, are you sure you can do this? You say, I think. You want to think on somebody's money? You want to think on somebody's savings? It doesn't make sense. You have to believe in yourself. Then you rehearse well before you pitch. In trying to wrap up, let me talk quickly about the pitch deck. Make sure your slides are structured. I mean, I'm presenting to you today. You can see the structure of the slide. Things are flowing. Then make sure that there are key elements that are contained in your slide. What is the problem? What is the solution? What is the market opportunity? What is the business model? Put everything. Then use text, use charts. Don't make your presentation to look too congested. Talk to your presentation. Don't just read. In fact, when someone is presenting to me and the person is reading from the slides, just reading and reading, I can read. Even with my glasses, I can read. So don't come and pitch to me and you are reading from the slide. If this is something you believe in, if this is something you are passionate about, you need to make the graph be the same, but don't read from it. And keep the slide very, very simple and clutter-free. What I always advise people when you are coming for a pitch, because you are going to have finances and all that, keep all those things in the laptop you are presenting with, if you are using your laptop. And if not, have it somewhere. Because someone can ask a question, okay, this financial model which you presented, when is the break even? How did you compute your break even? What is the interest rate you loaded? Or what is the margin you put on it? You're not going to come to me and say, the margin, I calculated it, or it is in one Excel sheet like this. Where is the Excel sheet? No, if you are pitching, make sure you have everything that you need with you there where you are, and tell stories. Let your presentation be visually appealing. Make use of bullets, make use of graphs. Let it be consistent branding. You know, sometimes some people will come and present page. Slide 1 is aerial, especially in this age of artificial intelligence. Slide 1 is aerial. Slide 2 is Garamond. Slide 3 is Tahoma. Slide 4 is Times New Roman. Slide 5 is Bookman. It shows you are inconsistent. It shows you don't pay attention to details. If you want to come and pitch to me to take my money to invest in your business, and you could not spend 20, 30 minutes to make sure that there is consistent branding in what you want to present, I'm sorry, you're not a serious fellow. So make sure that your slides, they tell a story. They are captivating. When people look at it, the images you put on the slide should align to the text. It's not just, you just push anything into your slide. And please, common mistakes to avoid technical overload. You're a microbiologist, you want to produce a chemical that can decompose physics and turn it into manure. and you come and start telling me all those and I'm just a banker, I'm just an investor who wants to make my money and just want to be happy to take care of my family and my children. And you now come in because you are from UI. UI is, one of the best universities in the world. And, your microbiology professor is one of the best. You now start telling me about compound chemical names, about this, and you have 5 minutes to pitch before you even pronounce some of the long biological names of some of the things you want to do. 2 minutes is gone out of your something. And, at the end of the day, you've spoken technical. I am not interested in your technical. I am interested in what you want of me. So avoid technical overload. Also, make sure you are time conscious. As I'm speaking to you, guess what? I'm looking at my time. Time is money. So if you want to pitch to me and you are not time conscious, then you are not a serious fellow. If I give you the money, you just spend my money and you come and tell me, oh, well, I said I'm going to pay back in 2 years. Please, can you wait for me till 10 years? And I have some investments like that I've wasted. Then make sure your financials are very, very strong. When you present your financials and the data, make sure it's strong and make sure your funding request is. I always advise people, and I'll say it again, practice your pitch. See, even me that I'm coming to present to you, I went through my presentation. I reviewed each slide. I reviewed each phrase. I went through as I'm presenting to these amazing people in African young brains. I want to be able to stimulate their brains so that when they make pitches, they can make pitches well. Please review your slide. And I also encourage people, there are certain things you should memorize, you should know, so that you can be able to summarize. There are times people come to make pitches, and the next thing is, please, can you summarize? And when they say, can you summarize? You are busy, confused, because you don't know where to start. So it's important that people know you can summarize your ideas and, practice under pressure. Sometimes, guess what? It's not as if we don't want to invest. We want to see this business you want to do. If something hits you, how are you going to be able to cope under pressure? So we will simulate pressure. It's deliberate. The other day, someone came to present something, and people were clapping for him. And I said, okay, well, this presentation you have made, the software which you want to make, have you checked these and these and these that are current trend in software? Because if this and this should continue, then your software may not be relevant in the next course also. And he was confused. He was like, wow, serious? And I'm like, ew, you didn't think about that. Guess what? I said may not be relevant. I did not say will not be relevant. May not is I want to see his confidence to say, oh, yes, even though we're going to be having artificial intelligence and this, my software is still going to be relevant because it's going to target you. Learn to practice under pressure. Then make sure you're engaging. Your body language to speak alongside, your presentation. Have eye contact. Look at me. I'm talking to you. Be bold. Look at me. Speak. Now, don't look in a rude way. Some people will look and it will become worrisome. No, look. Know how to look. Know how to vary your tone so that everybody is, everybody is carried along. Then ask questions so that you can get response. As I wrap up, see, I want to encourage you, practice how to pitch. You will be pitching all through life. Even after you have retired, you'll continue pitching. So start practicing it. Make sure that you learn to pass across a strong message. Summarize your opportunities and make sure you always state clearly what you need and end your presentation with a compelling cause. So the number of resources, the number of places where you can get, when I send the slides, you will see places where you can get, sample pitch templates from top accelerators for different types of pitches and different tools, and also some guidelines on how to improve on your presentation. So thank you. That will be the end of my presentation.
Please, you still hold on.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Toby and Mr. Testament to the impact of African young parents to the world. Yes, to the world. This young man who are going to introduce to us one essential award for artists. They said this year did a lot of things, and the federal government recognized it, and he was awarded presidentially. He went all the way to FCT Abuja to get his award, and it's interesting to know that he's a product of African Sean Grace. So if you are not sure, yes, I appreciate it. I just put that together for the appreciative once more. If you are not sure, you are not powerful, you're wrong. Because a lot of opportunities are embedded in this initiative, African Sean Grace. I'll be calling later on that we are going to afford the lost standard because our downside is not we are standing next and are taking an answer to stand or not stand. When you don't stand, how will you understand? Alright, so you stand, but you understand the stress. Alright. So you are not going to put things together. That's what you do for me. Alright. I'm calling Congress, Mr. Acharo Emmanuel. What the presidential award? Federal government recognized him. Yeah, he's put this together, please. He's going to give us, tell us the picture of the story, then we'll proceed. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Emmanuel, and I want to really appreciate everyone that I heard. My mentor, my dear leader, and is a father to me. So, aware of it. Please learn about this. The founder of Africa Young Brains. And also, I want to appreciate the presence of an absence of Dr. Soji and also Mr. Tujina or Her Excellency Royal Majesty Dr. Elizabeth Jibola. A round of applause for all of them. You see, because of time, there are moments in a man's life when the destiny announces quietly, unexpectedly, unmistakably. For me, African Young Brains was one of those moments. So, AYP has really responded. AYP African Young Brains came into my life at a stage when I was just leading direction. So let me just speak. Because I did this. I remember that time I was doing undergrad. I met someone, a scholar from Africa Young Brains. So he was, he came around, he just came back from Ghana. He won the scholarship. He was in mathematics or science. You know about AIDS scholarship. So if you finish there for UI, then we school, then told me about young brain. I shared my vision and what I really want to do. So he told me that young brain is the place that you believe that I should be, that I'm going to do well. So that's when I was telling the team. So she got at that time he came from Ghana. I was also going to Poland for another scholarship. Please, can you get about like he just came from Ghana for his scholarship. So he able to see another scholarship program in Poland, that's the Ramos scholar in courses of Adewale Washi. So definitely watching us right now. So he's a member one of the executives in African Young Brains. So fast forward to last program we had. When you are coming, you saw a big banner the grant makers and the construction makers. You see that someone who are coming, can you raise your hand? Yes, the grant makers and the future makers. So I was one of the volunteers at IMTB also, but I was wearing a volunteer shirt. So something like that, grant makers and future makers. So you are called to the front, as some of you are called to speak, like what do you do? Like what do you want to do? So I came up when I spoke about peers education. I have an NGO that is called Peers Education. So what we do is that we reach out to the schools and we talk to them about education, how they can, leverage education beyond the classroom, and also how someone that is not doing well academically actually come out of that lane, that deep, and also come over to the state excellence. So that's what we do. And I was saying something like that at our last conference. And I was saying it. I met Dr. Olusoji that time to give us how we can reach out to him. We spoke about many things. I got possibilities to actually make impact. Fast forward to during my NYSC, what I have been doing before I see, I just, we have education network. That's I feel about being perfect. So all I just redirected under NYSC CDS, what we call personal community development centers. And that is all of it. The teaching, the seeking for sponsors in the north, like the north. And I don't know the issue of the north with Igbo and Igbo, I'm sorry. If they see me like this, they thought I'm Igbo, they have this kind of, like they don't want to hear you. Like I could remember when I went to the local government to secure a letter so that I can do something, not giving it. So the chairman will be pleased to tell me that I will say I saw him. What I did was that I keep going. So I was every I would go. So what I would go till the tired, you have to approve it. So because of time, fast forward to a beautiful morning, I think July 19, 2025. I just got back from church. We went there to do something that very morning. So I returned exhausted from manual work on the campus fellowship. I had no idea that life was about to change actually. So my forum and the voice on the other hand introduced itself from the NYSC headquarters Abuja. Then he called my name, my stakeholders, say, are you Emmanuel this? Are you your stakeholders? And then you engage in personal community development service when you are in the state. I said yes. And then this is no state. I said yes. And then he said, I am, he put it in a very wonderful way. He said, I was told to call you that you have been conferred with a National Presidential Honor Award. You see, I said, you do me a favor. I said, everything you said now, you're going to say it again. Then I heard the recording on my phone. There's a way you can record the voice note, right? Then immediately I did that, he heard it. That I've done. I said, why are you recording? I said, so that if I tell everybody, so that they not think that all these people of $1 million send over $1,000. You understand? And he said everybody I was telling, they don't believe it. Because they said, how would they call you from Abuja? Did they have your email? Did they have your this? Did they have your that? Did you receive any support? The scam. But I knew it's not a scam. Yes, I walked, and the way he said some things that I felt, I just knew it was cool. It was, and it came, and we are told to be coming to Abuja in just few days, like in just few days. So sincerely, I was amazed You see, in that moment, every struggle makes sense and every sacrifice found meaning. Because the project, yes, everything becomes a seed. I realize that greatness is not born actually in comfort, it is born in consistency, character, and commitment to serving others, even when no one is watching. I come from a community where opportunities are few actually, where education is not guaranteed, where hope is not always obvious. I'm the first, generation scholar, and I am a product of grace, grit, and God. And yet, the world I come from, the very reason I fight, it is the reason I serve, the reason I build. So through Players Education Network, I've decided to bridge the gap between classroom learning and the real world competence, and to empower students, raise young leaders, train emerging change makers, and bring transformative programs to schools and to communities. And why is AYP matters? AYP embodies the future we all dream of. A future where African youth unite to build skills, grow enterprises, innovate solutions, the right narrative, secure the prosperous community. The final note, I stand here today, not just to present my National Presidential Award, but to dedicate it to the community that shaped me. Please, I thought you would clap. To the mentors who believe in me, to the colleagues who believe with me, and to every young African in this hall who carries a dream running within them. And if my story says anything, it is this: your beginning does not define your becoming. Your limitations cannot limit God's intervention in your destiny. Your challenges are not signal to quit, their instructions to write. Work with people who shape your vision, stay connected to communities that stress your potentials, like everyone in the African countries. And never forget, you are an African, young, brilliant, capable, powerful, and destined for your future. Thank you so much, and thank you. I'm so grateful for the opportunity given to be part of the member of African Young Group. It's something I'm always proud of. I believe that by the time next time we will be coming back for the next meetup, it's going to be maybe from the Zoom and it's going to be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Our distinguished photographers, consider you help us. Or if you have a photo, please help with this moment. With the so I suggest we hear it. Is this how you celebrate people? Yours is coming. May not be this or bigger, greater. So we celebrate each other. Yes. Yes. Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before what? And not made men. All right, so if you have questions for Mr. Today, I figured out that
you be part of the world and attempt to be modest. You don't say, oh, the presidential awardee did not tell us that the award pays with automatic employment. The presidential awardee did not also tell us that it came with automatic scholarship
to any level of education whatsoever.
To tell us that we should invest in ourselves. It's little opportunities we see here and there. Present yourself, avail yourself to schools opportunities. You cannot tell what awaits. Congratulations on you.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Achao Emmanuel. You are the next. But you know what way is it? Give you a very nice time. You went to Kogi State. You know, they will say you are going to Nasarawa, you say, ah, God, I beg, bind it. Come back to your state. You will reply, there's no presidential word, though. I think you know that. Because I went to ask him and he told me, how will you deploy? Once you deploy, forget about it. If you like do impact, if you are doing impact in the state that they not post you to initially, there's not a word for you. So this is a call to you. They take you to Maiduguri, Borno State. You stay there and make impact. All right. If you have questions for Mr. Tobe, raise your hand. He's waiting patiently for you. Okay. Quickly. Can you come forward? Is Mr. Tobe with us? Is he still with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. So, there's a second person. Who else? Okay, I guess we just have 2 questionnaires. That's all. No question, no questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, greatest ones, everybody. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. So my question to Mr. Tobe is that as a young business builders, like how can we pitch our business? Do we have any platform? So because I see that it's an investor. So as a business owner, how can we pitch our business to him? So that do you understand my question?
Can we?
Yes, it's with us.
So, did you get this question?
Yeah, I
Did you
got
get
the
the
first
question?
question. Yeah, I got the first question. Can I get the second question? Is it possible for someone to put on the camera so I can see the people?
Please ask that question. Okay, my question is that as an investor, do you have any platform for the young business owner to pitch their business or to pitch their business to you as an investor?
Okay, yes, I got that question.
So yes,
I thought there are 2 questions.
Okay, the second person, is it similar? Similar, all right. So the second is a similar question. So you can just answer that for the 2 of them, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes. Do I have excuse me. Do I have platforms where people can? Yes, of course. I also attend a couple of panels. What I would say is I would send it as part of the presentation deck so that you can see 1 or 2 places where I sit in and listen to people pitch their what is it called? I'll add it to the presentation deck. But beyond me, there are now several ways in which people can pitch. I have one which I work with. But beyond me, there are several places where people can pitch. And I think what I'll do is I'll try and look for a few of them for you. As part of sending the presentation deck, it will be there. So I'll send it to the AYB team. And I guess if they have your email, I'll send it to you. Did you hear me?
Yes, sir. If I can get it very well, you said you are going to drop something like that for maybe on the group or something like that, because I couldn't hear the network was so bad.
I would send it as part of my presentation deck. So when you get my presentation deck, you would see it in the deck.
Okay, the registration deck, sir.
The presentation, this PowerPoint that I use, it will be in the PowerPoint.
Okay, so what is it? Thanks so much, sir.
All right, thank you.
We get the presentation.
That was not an issue. Okay, thanks. Don't worry. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, please to tell us now that presentation. Okay, thank you so much, sir. The presentation slides will be sent to the platform so you can have access to it. You can have access to the presentation slides, so it's not a problem. From our Royal Majesty to Dr. Yusoki and all of that, you are going to get the presentation slide. Thank you so much. And quickly, and then I need to remind us that he is a mentor, one of our mentors in AYP. So you have no problem. If you're on that platform, he's present, then it's there. Even our Royal Majesty, as the commander said, she's a good though. So we give access. They always ask the questions and they'll be attended to. So now we are in the segment, the section of the rapid draw. And Dr. Larry will take over now. We ask you some questions. If you answer it correctly, have a chance, stand a chance to win our amazing kits. So let's welcome Dr. Larry once again.
Thank you very much. Won't waste your time at all because.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We are so grateful to have you, Pastor, today.
So let me touch you.
I think we can be playing some again. Yes, sir.
Now,
Just small.
evaluating whether we something away or not. The first question from last one, it gave us 3x about industry. Although we listen to it, really to there are several questions, don't worry. You don't get this, you get another one. Okay? So, the first level, we call it entry level. Who can tell us the words of this entry level? We mentioned something. The entry level, which level the file was trying to tell us how companies think it was. So, the entry level, what's the word? Okay. The entry level, what you said was exactly, you got it right. A round of applause, please. Come up. Come up. Use your hand to pick your thing.
And tell us what
Whatever you pick there. And as I'm empty, not there, not there.
Let's play. Let's play.
No, you pick one, one choice, just one.
Don't pick everyone. Wait.
Please,
Are you ready for cookies? You have a opportunity of picking another one now. Okay. Let's see, maybe not.
All right.
Question they ask.
Yes. We were also told that in the global north, we have some countries, especially 3 countries in the global north, very nice for that, sort of the months. Whenever you go there, you are an expert in it. You consider yourself to have made it. Which are these countries? 3 of them, can you try? Going. Okay, define one.
You mentioned Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana.
I'm sure you had me right. Global North. Which countries are in Europe? Someone else? Read the time, please.
South Africa, Kenya, and Egypt.
Oh. Let us discuss a bit on it. When you hear global north, what comes to mind? Global south, what comes to mind? Have you heard it before? You want to try? Global north, global south? Try, please. Let us try. No uniform.
Global South. Global.
So, and of course, most of the African nations are. Okay, so you miss it, but I think you have something to take away, okay? Another person? Don't make it, huh? Yes, right. You got it right. A round of applause, please. Come on, use your hand to pick your hand. Use your hand. Pray very hard. Because, okay. And I have papers there. Pray hard. Jota and pen. So you pick any of the jota and pen.
You write your plans down.
No, that's not the one. This is one. Maybe it is Momo who will be written Momo Jota. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's small, but that's what we can keep now. And I'm not to come. Can I go ahead, please? Okay. One of our speakers also told us that we have 3 traits that we should look out for. Human traits